Ladies and gentlemen, my name is BrendenPlayz, and we are starting a brand new series here on the channel. It is going to be Total Extreme Wrestling. It's a game that many of you have asked for me to play over the years. It's something I've always wanted to do on my channel, but I just never got around to really doing it, and the main reason being is because I didn't know if I could ever really make it entertaining or make it enjoyable for you guys to watch, but I'm going to give it a go. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try my best. So Total Extreme Wrestling, if you're not aware of what this game is, it basically is a wrestling booking simulator. Basically, we take control of a company, and that company we've chosen is TNA. So basically what we're going to be doing in this series is we are going to be basically controlling TNA. We're going to be booking TNA, and not just TNA, but TNA in its glory days. TNA in 2006. We're going to be playing a modified version of the game, TNA 2006, and we're going to play it until, I guess, we get to the point where we're pretty satisfied, or we're sick of it, we've had enough. So I don't know. But basically, we've decided that current day, wrestling is so hard to do in this game because WWE is so dominant. They've got every single name that is worth getting. TNA can't possibly compete, and plus, it doesn't really interest me. I got into wrestling in around about 2005, so that's when things really started to, when I look back, that's when I really enjoyed wrestling probably the most, was when I first got into it, 2005, 2006, 2007. So I wanted to do a playthrough of an era that I personally know a lot about and really enjoy, and that is, I was going to do 2005, but we decided we're going to go with 2006 because of a few adjustments to the TNA roster that was made in 2006. It's made it a lot stronger in 2006 than it was in 2005. So basically, our plan is we want to rival WWE. So let's take a quick look, and as you can see, we are currently number 5 overall. WWE's number 1, AAA, New Japan, and CMLL are above us. So our plan with this playthrough is we want to get, maybe number 2 at least, if not number 1. So it's a tough thing to do. Now, the rosters are basically quite similar to what you would have seen on TNA 2006. Yeah, there could be a few things here and there that are not quite right, but it's, about as good as we're going to get. I found this mod, I downloaded this mod, I made a few adjustments, but most of it, is true to it. The only real major change that I made was I had to do it. I had to leave Eddie Guerrero in the game. Now, he recently passed in 2005, so a 3-month gap between his passing and the start of this one. I said, you know what? Let's pretend that it never happened because I love Eddie Guerrero and I want to see what would have happened with Eddie Guerrero if he didn't pass. So we're going to keep him in the game, which only really makes this more difficult for us because WWE now have another major name, and Eddie Guerrero, we know how good he is, and he's going to put on some terrific matches. So basically the key to this and what you do in this series is you book shows, you can take control of TNA, you book shows, and you're trying to put on the best matches you possibly can. That's the plan, that's the goal. So let's have a quick look at our roster. We've got, some usual guys, but you can notice everyone is on a pay-per-appearance deal. And we want to change that. We want to change that and get most of the guys that we see as the future of TNA on written deals. So that's our plan. That'll be our next step. But let's take a quick look. We've got Abyss, we've got AJ Styles, other guys like Alex Shelley, Motor City Machine Guns, Austin Aries, Road Dogg, the man himself, Bobby Roode. He's getting a push in my game. Dudley Boys, that's a really great addition that we've got them. Some other names, got Chris Harris and James Storm with America's Most Wanted. Chris Sabin again, as we said. This man, though, this is probably the key. This is the guy that we need to focus all of our attention. This is the big deal. This is Christian Cage. He's going to be our guy, and we're going to talk about it soon, and that the guys are going to build the company around, and he is definitely one of them. So Christian Cage, he may very well be our number 1 guy. Christopher Daniels is another one. Good old Dixie Carter, we've got her. She's going to be absolutely useless, so we really don't want her, but she owns it, so we can't get rid of her. Don West in there doing commentary. You know what? I always liked Don West. I always liked Don West. We've got Eric Young, Gail Kim. We don't really have a women's division or a knockouts division, I guess you could say. So that's something we have to start to build. I do want to do that. I normally don't do women's divisions when I do a playthrough, but I want to do that, so we'll do that over time. We'll start building that, and obviously Gail Kim probably will be the one that we center the division around. We also got this man, Donna Hoshi. That's a pretty good get as well. He's pretty handy to have on our roster there. He hasn't quite got the popularity, but you can see, look at him in Japan. That's huge. So we definitely will be using him, and we probably won't sign him to a written deal. As you can see, he's working in Japan as well as TNA, but we'll definitely be using him, and he's got a lot of good skills, so that's very important. Other guys, we've got Homicide, we've got James Storm, Jay Lethal, that's really good, a very young Jay Lethal. This man as well, probably the other guy I think we might center the company around, and Jeff Hardy, so that is huge that we have Jeff on our roster. I think that's a really big get. Probably the number one guy, maybe apart from Christian, is Jeff Jarrett. I think he's the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, so he is our current World Champion. No surprise there, Jeff Jarrett. When wasn't he World Champion, for goodness sake? But yes, he's World Champ, so he'll definitely be up there. Look, I don't really rate Jeff Jarrett as that high, but he does pretty well in TW, to be fair to him. So he'll definitely be up there in the mix in the main event scene. I don't know if he'll be NWA World Champion for much longer, but yeah, so he'll definitely be in the mix. We've got Jerry Lynn, he's always good. Billy Gunn, and a lot of these names we will change. We will change over to their more common names. I mean, Kip James, we'll definitely call him Billy Gunn. Look, there's no copyright. We're not going to get in trouble from WWE for using, Billy Gunn instead of Kip James. So we don't, there's no copyright infringement we have to worry about. So we can do that. Conan, pretty old Conan though, 41-year-old Conan. So I'm not sure, he's pushed them over as a color commentator. So maybe we might use him in that capacity. So there's some other guys. We've got Monty Brown, and a pretty successful Monty Brown. He's got some good popularity there. So he also, he's 35, but he's only been in the business for 4 years at this point. So he's definitely a guy that we may look to center TNA around. I don't know. We might. I think the plan is we might try pick 4 to 6, so maybe at the max 8 guys that we want to build TNA around, and he might be one of them. Raven, we got 41-year-old Raven, now a little bit old, but some good popularity there, and he'll definitely be handy in the main event scene. Another guy that I definitely want to build TNA around is Rhino, the man beast Rhino. He'll definitely be one of our top stars, no doubt about that. He's currently a face. I wouldn't mind him being a heel though, so I'm going to just change that. I want him to be a heel, so we'll change that. We've got Roderick Strong as well. And you can notice that some of the popularities here are a little bit too high. I think you will find that across the board that some of the popularities are far too high than what they really should be. But, it would take forever for me to go through and change it all. If we notice something is ridiculous, we can go in and edit that. But for the most part, we'll probably just leave it as is. We've got R-Truth, which is really good as well. Look, he's 33 still, and he's good popularity. He might be a guy we might pick. Certainly this man though, Samoa Joe. Let's be honest. Why wouldn't we build the company around Samoa Joe? So he's currently the X Division champion as well. So he'll be one of our main guys. We've got Shane Douglas, but I don't think he's wrestling anymore. No, so that he's might be doing. He's a personality at the moment. We might get him to be a road agent. Is what I'm trying to say. And the last probably notable name is Sting. We've got Sting. So he's our number one guy in terms of popularity, but he's 46 years old, so he's more so at icon capacity. I don't know if he'll be necessarily a part-timer, but we probably won't be looking to put the belt on him and center the company around him, but we definitely will be using him in a major capacity, probably feuding with the likes of a Christian Cage. So that's that. So that's our roster, and I think that's a pretty solid roster. Obviously, we've got some really good guys that we can really build the company around, like AJ, Samoa Joe, for example, Jeff Hardy, Christian. That's terrific. Probably the first order of business is to sort our roster out before we get into anything else. And what the plan is for this first episode, the episodes probably will be around 20 to 30 minutes long, so it's going to be long, but there's a lot of things you got to do in a playthrough like this. You got to spend a lot of time doing it all, but what we will do is we will look to sign a few guys. We're going to start to sign a few guys, and let's see who we can get. Who's a notable name that we can bring in that's still at a decent age? And the first up is A-Train. Now, he hasn't got a picture, but we'll sort that one out. I'm very tempted to bring in A-Train. He's 31, and Obviously, he could play a really good heel role. He's currently touring Japan, so he is available to get. So I'm very, very tempted to get him. Next up, Bill Goldberg. He's available. But as you can see, he won't negotiate with us because we're too small to bring him in. His popularity is far too high. Basically, at this point, anyone with a popularity, I would say above 80, won't sign with us. Maybe 85. We'll have to test that theory. Bret Hart as well. He's retired anyway. Lesnar, he's still, 28. I mean, geez, if you could pick up Lesnar now, that'd be huge. He's in Japan at the moment, so that's a big get for Japan. Spike Dudley here, I don't think we've got much use for him. Although good popularity, but not that terrific of a wrestler. Buff Bagwell, maybe. Carlito, he's still currently signed with the WWE, but you can see for some reason he's on a pay-per-appearance deal. I don't know why. You can see his popularity is huge, so we could actually bring him in. I don't know why they've set him as a pay-per-appearance. I think that's one of the things that we'll notice, a few issues, a few little errors, but yeah, if we wanted to, we bring in Carlito. I'm not sure if we will though. Here's the thing, I want to keep it, guys that you expect to see in TNA or have seen TNA at some point, and probably the guys I want to pick up. If let's say The Rock could join TNA, whilst that would be amazing for our game and our playthrough, it's not really realistic, is it? So we'll try and keep it more realistic. And Carlito, look, we know he's working everywhere these days, but certainly in 2006 he was smack bang in WWE and he was going nowhere. Now the one guy I want to get, Chris Jericho. Now if you remember back in 2005, he left WWE and he was on hiatus for a couple of years, so he's actually available to sign. He's on hiatus, but you can bring him back if you can negotiate with him, but his popularity is too high for us. So the plan, I guess, if we want to get Chris Jericho, is we have to make our company big enough, probably within the next 6 to 12 months before Chris Jericho goes to WWE, because it's very possible WWE could sign Chris Jericho tomorrow and bring him back, and that would be disastrous for us. But if we can get Jericho, I tell you what, we could build the whole company around Jericho. He could be our number one guy quite easily. That would be huge for us. DDP, he's still wrestling, but he's a little bit too old. Good popularity though, but it says he's retired, so he might not be fully active. Hogan, look at that popularity, 98, and again he won't talk to us. Jim Cornette, look, Jim Cornette, terrific mic ability, and would be a great manager. So he's someone I actually would like to probably bring in, but you can see a lot of people, a couple of people don't like him, so it's a bit of a risk, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway, so let's bring him in for a couple of years. Pay per appearance, not a big deal. We're going to bring him in. Yeah, we've got Ken Shamrock, 41. He's up there in age. His stats are still okay, but yeah, he's up there in age, so it's a probably risk. Kevin Nash, very good popularity still. His ability to put on a good match is probably not really there, but it still has very good microphone abilities, so that's something that we could focus on. How much does he really want? A few people are happy to see him in. Conan's not really. Neither is Shane Douglas, but yeah, look, he wants 27,000, so that's big money for Kevin Nash, and that's, to be fair, he probably deserves that with that popularity, but I'm not sure if we're willing to kind of fork that out yet. Lance Storm, well, he's retired, so he's no good. Lex Luger, he's too old. Low key, yeah, good popularity, very good stats, and he'd be great for the X division. So he's someone we might keep our eye on him. He's already on our shortlist, so we might keep our eye on him. Mark Kopani, which is actually Muhammad Hassan, and at this point in 2006, he was gone from WWE and on hiatus. So you know what? Muhammad Hassan, it's a shame that he retired from wrestling. I think he should have been brought in somewhere. So I'm going to try and get him. I'm going to try and get Muhammad Hassan, and he's still very young, so we'll give him a 3-year deal. Oh, he doesn't. There we go. We need to change that. So he wants a little bit more money, not a lot more. And there we go. We're going to offer him a contract. We'll change it and get him a photo of him. But look at that popularity, 75, and that's pretty warranted because before he left, because I've been watching, 2005 WWE at the moment. Before he left, he was getting pretty close to becoming a world champion, so that's fair enough. We've got Matt Morgan, You know, he had a pretty disastrous run in WWE. I think we all know that. But look, he's good size about him, so definitely someone to keep an eye on. Mick Foley, not doing much, and yeah, he's 84. So basically, anyone under 80 we need to focus on. So he won't work for us. Mike Awesome, not a bad option. Not a bad option. Simon Dean, Randy Savage, Rikishi. Some more realistic names. Sabu, you know, he's an option. Let's take a look. Anyone else? Steve Austin. Yeah, I wish. But yeah, and here's one guy, Test. I want to bring in Test because Test, only 30, and still, you know, he's got a world of potential. I think he is one of those guys that I think we could really build. He's got a lot of star power about him. So I want to bring in Test. I really do. And I wanted to bring in Albert alongside of Test and reform the TNA tag team. So the Test and Albert tag team. So that's a combination I want. So we'll go back to Albert. We talked about it, you know, a little earlier. We'll go back to Albert. We'll bring him in as well. And we'll give him a pay-per appearance there because we don't want to hinder New Japan. I think we actually have a working agreement with New Japan. We'll get to that. But we don't want to hinder that too much. So we'll sign A-Train. We'll go back down here. Godfather, Sheik, The Rock. You know, look at the popularity of The Rock. Yeah, he's not even in WWE at the moment either. So he's on hiatus. So he's available. Only 33. So if he would, you know, we could get him, that'd be great. But it's just not that realistic that we could. And, you know, yeah, for some reason, so here's an issue here. Here's an example of an issue. So Eric Rowan, obviously. You know, he was not a star back in 2006, to tell you that. But look at the popularity that he's been given. So he's the type of guy that probably should be on about, you know, 5 popularity. But for some reason, they gave him 60. So he's one of those guys we have to kind of fix up. But other than that, that's really it. Vince Russo should say, hell no, we're never bringing him in. So that's it. So we've made a few signings, and there's a few more that we could probably go and get. I mean, you know, Daniel Bryan and others. But we'll leave it at that, and we'll look at that after we get our first show done, because I want to kind of get at least one show booked in this episode. So there you go. So that's where we're at right now. Have a quick look at the rankings of our talents. So as you can see, they've rated Sting as our number 1 guy, Christian, Jarrett, Raven, and Jeff Hardy. That's our top 5 according to the game. So that's the guys that we probably should be focusing the company around. A few hidden gems. There's a few guys that they believe that we should be picking up. Now, the other issue that we've seen here, Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, he technically should be signed with WWE. So that's one issue there. So we won't be signing him, even though I would love to. Santino, there's no way we're bringing him in. Chris Hero, definitely an option. So yeah, so there's a few guys that the game recommends that we bring in. Quick look at our announced team. That's all good. Some of our tag teams. So we've got America's Most Wanted. We've got Austin Aries and Roderick Strong, Sonjay and Jay Lethal, Team 3D, Team Canada. We're going to call these the New Age Outlaws. They call them the James Gang. New Age Outlaws. I had them News Age Outlaws. No. So the New Age Outlaws, we'll call them that. Why not? And Motor City Machine Guns and the Naturals. So there you go. So there's a few teams that we've got. That's not too bad. More teams we can add. No, there's no teams that have prior experience that we can add there. So we might create some more teams as we go on, but for now, we'll leave it at that. These are the championships that we have. So Jeff Jarrett, the world champ. America's Most Wanted, our tag champs. Samoa Joe is the X Division champion. We've got the World X and the Super X Cup, which are some X Division tournaments. Alrighty, so here we go. So we've advanced to the next day, and you can see there's a lot of deals being offered here. So Kevin Nash, for example, has been offered a deal. They want to bring in, the AAA wants to bring him in, so let's take a look. Written deal, so Kevin Nash could be off the table. So that's a little disappointing. You know, I don't want to lose Kevin Nash, I suppose. Mick Foley's also probably been given the same, very, very similar type of deal. Yeah, he doesn't even want to talk to us, so we can't even find out. And yeah, Rowdy Roddy Piper also been given a deal as well. So we've also been given some goals by Dixie Carter to kind of work by. So these are some of the restrictions that we've been given by Dixie. and we've got 2 years to get it done for most of them, in nearly 3 years on the other. So we can't let TNA fall below cult size. I don't think we're going to let that happen. We need TNA to have at least 3.25 million in the bank. That's going to be tough for the short term, but I think we should be able to get it done in a couple of years' time. You can't hire or extend the contract of anyone who has a problem with the law. That could be pretty bad. This is the tough one. You can't hire anyone over the age of 45. 45 is not a bad age. You know, normally sometimes you get the over the age of 35, and that's pretty hard to go by, because obviously there's a lot of guys who are still 35 or above, 35 to 45, that can still go and still good. 45 though, we could probably work with that, and I wouldn't be that concerned with that. So we've got our first show we need to get sorted out tonight. We've already got a few rivalries set in store. We've got Dudley's and America's Most Wanted. That's a pretty good rivalry. Jarrett, Sting, and Christian. I'm guessing that's over the world title. And we've got Homicide and Conan and R-Truth and the New Age Outlaws. We've got also, wow, look at this X Division storyline. Styles, Daniels, and Joe. Oh, that's right. They had that epic triple threat match. So there you go. And also Abyss and Rhino. So some good storylines to kind of get us started, which is great. All right, so let's start booking our first show. We've only got 1 hour. Now, that's something we definitely need to sort out as well. Probably extend our show from 60 minutes into 2 hours. But let's take a look. So these are all the match types that we've got here. We have a lot. Actually, a lot more than what I normally have. So these are new matches that I haven't actually worked with before, but you can see a lot of cool matches that we can do. We'll start it off simple, and we'll go from here. So let's do our first match. Let's have it as the man himself, AJ Styles, and let's go. Let's start things off the right way. I think let's go AJ and Samoa Joe. Why not? Our first match, new year, first time. Let's give it some decent time. Let's put the championship on the line, X Division on the line, and let's start things off the right way. So there we go. So we're going to put that on. Well, we actually had AJ down to win. We're going to have Samoa Joe win, I think. And let's take a look at AJ's popularity is 69, Samoa Joe's is 67. So it won't really affect AJ that much if he loses. If anything, it'll just bump Joe up that little bit extra. But what we will do as well is we'll have let's get a promo going. Now, once again, a lot of new storylines I'm working with. I haven't actually used a lot of these ones either, so let's get some of these going. So we want a promo, and you can see here you can see in the screen, it basically will say what the promo does. And now this is kind of more cosmetic. You can really pick anything as long as it has the two things that you want. At the end of the day, that's what matters. But it is always good to kind of just play along with it and pick the promos that you actually want. So we'll go with this. We'll go an interview backstage, and who can conduct the interview? That's the issue that we have. We haven't got a backstage interview. Oh, there we go, Jeremy Borash. That's good. I was going to fire Jeremy Borash, but we've got some use for him right now. So we'll have Abyss conduct a promo, and he's feuding with Rhino. So, but we'll set up though for Abyss, and let's have a look. Let's say Abyss can have a match with Jay Lethal. Abyss and Jay Lethal. Now, I haven't quite got all of the heels and baby faces down packed yet. I'm not sure who's what, but we'll work with it for this first episode, and we'll figure it all out as we kind of go. But I think Jay Lethal, yeah, he's a baby face, so that kind of worked out well anyway. I don't want to do a 10-man mayhem. I'm used to a singles match being up the top, but we want just a standard one-on-one match. We'll go to here and we go down. So normally, I think the future of the series I'll kind of book the shows and I'll show you more of the results rather than showing you the process, because the process can be a lengthy time. But yeah, so we'll have Abyss win, but we'll get Rhino involved afterwards and have a post-match attack. And alright, so we can have Abyss invite Rhino to come out for a brawl. Call him out and they'll have a brawl. And I think that will work fine. So we've already taken up 48 minutes of the show. Obviously AJ and Samoa Joe, big match. So we only need probably one more match and we've done our show. So it's pretty easy, this first one. But since it's, I guess, the first one, the first TNA show, we might step it up. I want to do a steel cage, but a lot of the times, any risky matches you can't do on TV, they won't allow it. So depending on the TV provider. So we're not allowed to do a tables match either, really. Obviously not going to allow to be that. Alright, we'll go a 2 out of 3 falls match. So Jeff Jarrett's obviously the champ at the moment. And we might have him put the belt on the line against Christian Cage. Now, I actually wanted Christian to probably be a heel. But if we do want to have Christian be the top guy, I think it'd work okay if he is a babyface for now. But who are our top heels? If we've got Abyss and Jeff Jarrett, whereas look at all these baby faces we've got. Wow. I kind of wanted Rhino to definitely be a heel, but the way they've kind of structured things to start things off, it hasn't worked out that way. So maybe we might have to turn Raven heel. Then we've got Abyss and Jarrett and Raven, but we're still lacking, aren't we? I think definitely Christian has to go heel, but we can do this match for now. And we can have this be a big main event. Now, we probably might go overtime with this, so we might have to cut something. We'll have Christian win, but we're going to have him win by count out. Basically, we'll simulate that probably Jeff Jarrett takes a walk. Jeff Jarrett's getting close to losing, but he'll take a walk. So we are 5 minutes over, so we might cut a couple minutes to this match and to the brawl as well. So that gives us enough time, so we can run that now. And just a quick look at Christian. So we definitely can turn him, so we might prepare him to turn heel, because you can see his gimmick, he's got a heel gimmick, but he's a babyface, so it really doesn't make any sense. But we'll prepare him to start turning, so we'll plant some seeds down. But we've currently got too much match time going on, so they're not exactly thrilled with us having so many matches on, so that's concerning. But we might do some pre-matches. We might do a tag team match to get our tag teams on the show, and we might do the New Age Outlaws. We'll put them on, and how about they have a match against Aries and Roddy Strong? So pre-show match, and that can kind of kick things off, get the crowd hot to start things up. But we'll have the New Age Outlaws go over for now, because let's have a look. 50 popularity compared to Billy Gunn's got 64, so definitely Billy Gunn a little bit more valuable at this point than the other two. So we don't want to be losing our top guys anytime soon. So Abyss and Jay Lethal, because I guess it's not really hasn't got anything really attached to it. We might cut some of that time. So let's get another promo on the show so we don't have too much matches on there, because otherwise we'll get a bad rating, I guess you could say, for having too many matches on the show, not having enough promo time. So where's just a standard promo? We've got so many options to choose from. We've got probably nearly too many. But you know what? We might do something here. Actually, no. We need one with just 3. So I was thinking about doing a Christian's peep show or something like that, and having him do some kind of a talk show. Yeah, there we go. So we could do this one. So Christian, and we could do Sting and Jeff Jarrett. So that kind of gets everyone involved, and that can help us get us through. That needs to be 1 minute shorter. If we cut down this, we could be okay. Yeah, so we might need to change that in the future as well, but we'll have to probably cut this Abyss match a little bit more. So we might leave it at that. That's our first show. We've covered a lot of things, nearly all our rivalries, so let's kick things off. So New Age Outlaws and Aries and Strong got a 74 rating, which is pretty good actually. That's a lot better than what I expected. And you see Strong actually had a performance of 78. He was the MVP of the match. So we'll have to keep that in the back of our minds. He could be someone to kind of look out for. Wow, look at this. AJ and Samoa Joe, 88. So of course it's rated out of 100. And to get 88 out of 100 is pretty damn good. Samoa Joe, 91 performance. So that's actually really positive signs for us. He's not actually that popular, but to get that type of performance and that rating is terrific. 65 with that Abyss segment. That's expected. 68 with the Abyss match. Obviously didn't have enough time to really be anything. 68 with the Abyss and Rhino segment. That's okay. I guess the Peep Show. There you go. Christian's not suited to his gimmick, so that was the issue that we had there. We know that, and we'll be turning him. We don't want to turn him too soon. We want the turn to be effective, so we'll wait, a few weeks before we turn him, but it won't be long. And then the main event, Jeff Jarrett and Christian Cage. So 84 main events. So there you go. So we've done that. 2 out of 3 falls match, and Jeff Jarrett survives. So 84, that's going to be a pretty good show overall. 70. So we didn't get enough matches with high spots. Oh, okay. We didn't get any matches that were being won. Brawl, Car Crash, and Mayhem. There weren't enough attractive women. So there you go. So we had a great show, but we didn't satisfy some of the criteria that our audience wants. And that's the reason why we didn't do it, is because it changes all the time. I didn't really look into what our audience wants. So now we have an idea, and we can work on that for next time. Have a quick look. So you can see New Japan's actually offered something to Kevin Nash. So Kevin Nash is a bit of a hot commodity right now, isn't he? So New Japan's, they want to give him 25,000, whereas AAA want to give him 30k. I don't know about that, but we've been given a couple of new goals as well by Dixie, which is always fun. And we got a 1.5 rating for Impact. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. We'll take that. That's a good start. That's a good start. And we actually made a bit of a profit. That's good. So what's our other new goals? No, I don't think. Did we get any? Oh, Christian Cage must be kept above 71 overall popularity. Oh, we're definitely going to be doing that. He's only going to be going up. He's not going down. So there you go. That's our first show. And I would say that's pretty successful. That's really positive signs that a lot of our, the guys, our main event guys, we didn't use our mid-card much, but we'll get there. But a lot of our main event guys can really put on good matches, which is really positive. We need to make a lot of changes before we get going, and we'll probably do a lot of that, and I'll show you what happens and what I have changed for the next episode. But we'll leave it at that. That's the first episode of Total Extreme Wrestling for TNA. We're going to try and make TNA great again. Well, great originally. But I hope you did enjoy it. And let me know. Any feedback is always welcome. I'm just kind of trying my best here to make this as entertaining as possible. If you want me to try and show you anything else, let me know, and I will. But I think in the next few episodes, we'll see more of our highlights. We won't see more of an in-depth, I'll probably show you the matches I've made, then we'll go and we'll show you the results of them. But thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to see more episodes coming away, and I'll see you in the next one.